All right, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Normally we have a little video to play, but unfortunately I can't seem to find it in my camera roll. So I'll just give everybody a couple minutes to join, and then we will get started. All right. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. So, or I guess good afternoon at this point, depending on where you are at in the country. My name is Nichelle. I'm a field education trainer for Wella Professionals. And today we have Samantha Silvius joining us, and she is an OPI educator. So she's going to be taking us through some nail art trends and just answering some questions that we have gotten regarding the new OPI shades and just everything about OPI. So thank you to Modern for letting us join your Instagram today and go live on your Instagram today. And I'm just going to bring Samantha in here.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
All right. Did you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, of course. I'm trying to find so that my head isn't giant, but it is what it is. Hi, everyone. My name's Samantha, and I am an OPI brand educator. I've worked in the salon doing nails for about 10 years now. And I have been with OPI in the education branch for about 3 years, just over 3 years. So it's been pretty exciting. My job kind of is really like a dream come true, where you spend your time traveling around the country. And I'm in Ontario, so I go to Toronto a lot and meet really cool people and talk about OPI and talk about products and make sure everyone's on the same page about what we're supposed to be doing. So going forward, we're doing a lot of things online, as most people are. And we're just trying to spread some OPI love, seeing as we can't be with all of our, favorite people and in the salons sometimes. So we're just trying to spread some OPI love online here.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know I'm an OPI user myself, even though I don't do nails or anything like that. I have my own light and everything at home. So I do use the OPI gel. So I've loved the new collection that came out.
Right?
I can't get enough of all the shades. So I'm excited.
It's so exciting. And I feel like it's really on trend, and they're really versatile. And I think that's one of my favorite parts about the collections and how they come out, is that in a lot of people's questions about how do I pick a color to go with this color. And I think the best part about OPI collections is that they're kind of formulated so that no matter what colors you pick, they all go together. And I really like that about these collections. It's awesome.
Yeah, it makes it easy to kind of build looks off of them.
Yes.
Even for someone like me that, has no idea what they're doing when it comes to
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know. So we were going to do a little bit of a question and answer before we got into the looks, just because we did have some questions that came up after the last live, I believe.
Yeah.
So the first question I have for you is, what are we seeing from OPI this fall, winter for 2020?
Nice. So I feel like we're seeing like I said earlier, is like trend things. Everything is like following what's new. So we're seeing our fall winter 2020 collection, which is the Muse of Milan collection. And I'm sure like everybody's seen it. I'm super excited, but they're like warm 70s kind of retro feel shades with some icy white and denim blues. We've got some warm burnt orange. We have a nice bronze color, which I really like. And then tomorrow, you'll see the release of our holiday 2020 collection, which I'm super excited for because it also has this really, really awesome collaboration that I'm so excited for people to be in on. And it's really hard knowing stuff without being able to tell everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So I'm pretty excited for everybody to see what's coming for fall, winter, and for holiday. But if you didn't already know, our fall winter collection is featuring 12 permanent shades. A lot of people ask, are these colors going to be here forever? Are they just limited edition? The fall winter collection and the spring summer collection are permanent collections. Whereas like the summer, we had Neo Pearl, we had Hidden Prism in the summertime. And then the holiday collection, they're usually limited edition. But you'll see these colors being added to the permanent collection.
Oh, that's amazing. I know,
Yeah.
like, I usually stock up on my favorite colors when
I do too.
they come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And then, so it says Milan is the fashion capital. How is OPI incorporating this into the collection?
Cool. I don't know. I've never been a fashion trendy type person. I'm literally wearing a crew neck hoodie that was made by someone with a Cricut. So I can't really say that I'm a fashion forward person, but I'm seeing on Instagram and on media in general that following like a lot of the Paris Fashion Week and Milan Fashion Week, we're seeing a lot of these shades in some of the clothes that are on the runways. So they're really pulling from what's actually trending across all areas of fashion and beauty, makeup, etc. Like a lot of 70s inspired or retro inspired things are coming out again, which is really, really cool. And I think these shades kind of go along with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree. We are even seeing it in hair where a lot of the new shades that we're releasing, a new collection of shades that we're releasing are very retro inspired with that like kind of dusty retro finish, which I love.
I'm seeing on Pinterest a lot of curtain bangs.
Yeah.
And that 100% is so 70s. And I'm like, do I get them? Do I get curtain bangs? I'm not sure yet. I'm not there yet.
I'm not quite ready for the
not yet.
The next question I have for you, the bottles look so different. Is there something new with gel color?
Oh, cool. Okay, so I'm glad that people are recognizing that because we do have something really, really cool. And I'll kind of show it up close when we're doing the nail art. But people were noticing that the bottle looked different for the base coat and the top coat for gel color. And we have 3 new bottles and 1 new product. So the color bottles, I think a couple people noticed last time, the color bottles looked different. So originally they were colored caps, like colored labeled on the caps, and then the bottles were black. And now what they are is that they have white caps and the color is actually the bottle, which is really cool. So it does on the shelf look like nail lacquer or Infinite Shine where you can see the color on the bottle and the cap is the identifier as to what franchise you're using. So now we have changed the look of the base coat and the top coat so that they are white capped as well. And the name's got a little bit of a makeover too. So you're looking at the Stay Classic, which is our regular base coat, same formula, different dress. And then you also have the Stay Shiny, which is the top coat, same idea. And then we have a new base coat and it's called Stay Strong. And it's a new formulation with calcium and it's a thicker viscosity, so it actually makes the nails feel about, I think they were saying like 61% harder while it's being worn. So that's really great for people that have really soft nails or really brittle nails that are kind of afraid to wear gel color because they don't think it's strong enough. So it's a really good alternative for that client.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm actually going to try that next time I'm in there.
You should, especially when you're doing hair, like your hands are in water all the time. So they need a little bit more strength, right?
Yeah, no, that's an amazing option. I didn't even know that. I did notice them there, but that's a great explanation.
Yeah.
So the next question I have for you is nail art has blown up on social media. What is trending right now?
Awesome. I think nail art is, I love nail art. Like I just, it gives me life. Nail art gives me life. And it's such a great form of a self-expression. You know, I personally, it's funny because I love giving people nail designs, but I have like the most boring plain nails all the time. But I think nail art is so personal and it's so unique to the client or yourself that it's kind of whatever you want it to be. But right now I'm seeing a lot of the Skittle nails, which is really cool. And like I said earlier, you know, with this collection, you can mix and match 5 shades and they all are complementary to each other. So the idea kind of behind Skittle nails is that each nail, so you have 5 shades and each nail has a different shade on it and they are all like in kind of like a shade story there. It's really cool. But I'm seeing a lot of that come up on Instagram and on Pinterest.
Oh, that's amazing. I know,
Yeah,
like, I feel like nail art just kind of changed the nail game
I
for
think so
sure.
too.
Yeah, I think it's such a creative expression, and I think there's some amazing nail artists out there. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
always cool to go and look at all the pictures.
Yes.
So that kind of brings us into what are you going to be showing us today?
I'm not going to do a Skittle nail tutorial because that's just kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah.
However, I do really want to run with the animal print kind of thing because I know that that is huge. Like in fashion, in beauty, things like that fall is animal print to me. And I feel like we're seeing a lot of traditional animal print and then some kind of abstract animal print. So I have 2 looks. One of them is a little bit more simple or easy, kind of maybe for beginners, and then also something that's a little bit more advanced that has a couple more steps that might involve a little bit more technique. So one is a traditional like cheetah print and one's kind of like a tortoise shell, which is super cool. I'm going to try and use some of the transfer foil, and that's my like favorite little touch I like to put on nails is a little transfer foil to give it a little bling.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm excited to see what looks
Yeah.
like for us.
Awesome. So I'm going to flip you around so you can see my table.
Hi, Zena.
Oh, hi, Zena. Thank you for joining. Okay, can you see the table?
Yep. Yeah, I can
Perfect.
see it.
Okay, just want to be kind of in the center. So I have my 2 looks here. I have my like, you know, cheetah print and then my tortoiseshell. And I feel like tortoiseshell is so unique. I feel like there's so many different ways you can do tortoiseshell. And I tried a lot of different ways and was kind of discouraged at first. So I found a way that worked for me. And I think that's something really important to point out, that one way isn't the right way. I think there's so many different ways to do one technique that I don't really want anyone to think that this is the only way. This is the way that works for me. And if it works for you, that's amazing. If not, I'd really, really love to see other ways or other techniques people are doing to create this look. Because like I said, I struggled hard. So it's really nice to see other people's interpretations of these looks.
Yeah.
So I know everyone's looking here at these shades. These are the Muse of Milan shades. So like I said earlier, we have 12 permanent shades, and these are unreal. I have so many clients that are trying colors that I never thought that they would try before.
Oh my gosh, they're all so
Aren't they
beautiful.
gorgeous?
How do you even
This,
just pick one?
I know, and I think that's why Skittle nails are so popular, because you have collections like this and you're like, I need all of them at one time. So I'm going to put all of them on at once.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it.
I do too. Okay, so I'm actually going to set this aside for now. And I'm going to work first on our cheetah print nail. And I feel like this is like such a typical cheetah print, nothing really like crazy, but I personally like to use strictly gel color for these. I don't really like to add in acrylic paint unless it's absolutely necessary. I had that as a question last time we did a live here on Modern. And a lot of people were wondering if you could use acrylic paint or paint in general, nail polish, etc., when you're doing nail art. The answer is not no. However, typically when you add products in that create some kind of air gapping or bubbling or something like that, sometimes you can't really guarantee the product. So I like to use only gel color when I'm doing my nail art. And that's just something that I personally like to do. Again, service innovation, you do you. So going forward, I'm going to use 3 colors for this look. I'm going to use 3, and one of them is not from Milan. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna be using the lavender shade Galleria Vittorio Violet, and I'm also using the nice kind of shimmery bronze shade Falling for Milan, and I'm using one of our OPI iconic shades, Black Onyx. So I'm going to kind of pretend like this is a perfectly manicured nail. We've already, done all of our like nail prep and everything, and I have base coat already on here. And what I really like to do is make use of the full space of the nail. And negative space is really popular right now, and I know a lot of people are really into negative space nails, but I still feel like there needs to be, pops of color and like filled space. So this, for a normal person, like that's longer than my thumbnail, but for us, some ladies that really like to have long nails, there's a lot of space to play with. So my first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Galleria Vittorio Violet or Violette. I'm not really sure. Am I French Canadian? I'm not sure. So I'm going to use this, and I've shaken this polish for 1 minute already. And I'm going to, and this is also kind of personal preference, I don't like to do like a full swipe to make an angle. I kind of like to do like smallish brush strokes, kind of like if I was like working towards the cuticle to create like a straight line and just kind of fill in my space. And I know that seems like super simple, but that's just the way that I like to do it. You could, however, if that's your style, when you're using the polish, you could take it from the corner and kind of swipe down and kind of create that straight line and then fill in the triangle. It's totally up to you. And after that, I would cure in my OPI lamp for 30 seconds. And then what I would end up with after 2 coats is this little guy here, nice 2 coats of my little triangle. And like I said earlier, this right here would be like natural, like naked natural nail. So my next thing that I kind of want to do is I want to add what would be the inside of our cheetah prints. So it's kind of like those little, those dots in there inside of the black. So for that, I'm going to use the shade Falling for Milan, and I'm also going to use my dotting tool. This is an OPI dotting tool that came in the Artist Series collection a while ago. These you can find on Amazon and at the beauty supply. They're everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Falling for Milan, and I'm going to use kind of like the bigger side of it. See, it's got 2 sides. I'm going to use the bigger side of it, and I'm just going to dab it on the brush, and then I'm going to create 4 dots along the triangle here. So those would be my insides, I guess, of the cheetah print. And again, I'm going to cure it in my LED lamp for 30 seconds. And the reason why we cure for 30 seconds is because I want those to be completely cured before I add any other color. Because if a product isn't cured completely, what ends up happening is that it ends up becoming all one. So if I put the black directly on this without it being cured completely, it would just become one big blob. You wouldn't get any definition whatsoever. So after I cured that for 30 seconds and through the magic of Instagram Live, I have this beautifully cured purple and bronze with ready for black. And then, so I'm again using the iconic shade Black Onyx for this part. And you know what? I totally forgot, but I need a little palette. I totally forgot to do that. My bad. So I have like literally a little piece of plastic here that I'm going to do a little dollop of black after I've shaken it for 1 minute. And a lot of people ask, well, why do we have to shake it? Isn't it gel? I'm like, yeah, but it will separate. The pigmentation won't be consistent. You really want to make sure that that is nice and shaken so that it's the blackest it could be. So after I've cured all of these, I'm going to take my black onyx here, and I'm going to use the small side of my dotting tool, and I'm going to dip very lightly in there, and then I'm going to kind of outline a little bit with the black around my bronze dots. And I'm not using like a very precise motion. I'm more or less just kind of tapping it on, and wherever it goes, it goes. It's kind of abstract, I guess. I'm kind of doing it on either side of the cheetah print, right? So you're just kind of surrounding it with a little bit of the black. And then to fill in the space here, I'm just going to do, even though there's no dots there, I'm just kind of filling in the spaces. And that's kind of what we're going to end up with there, if everyone can see.
Yeah.
And then again, I'm going to cure it for 30 seconds because like I said before, if it's not completely cured and we go to put our top coat on, that's where it's going to be turn into a blob. So like I said earlier, this is our new top coat. So as we're noticing, this is a colored bottle with a white cap. And the nice part is that this cap is textured, so it actually doesn't take a lot of effort for the arthritic to open. It's super exciting. So this is our Stay Shiny top coat, and this is what I would do to end my entire nail art and completely solidify everything. So after I've applied my top coat, that's when I have my final look, which is the beautiful and shiny animal print here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Something super simple, right? Like there's something to be said about just having some dots and some blobs. You know, a lot of people get discouraged with nail art because, you know, you think it's too difficult, or it's something, you know, oh my gosh, I could never do that. You know, I'm not artistic, I'm not talented, or whatever. This, you can say you're not artistic and talented, but you can sure make yourself look like you're artistic and talented, because this is just dots and blobs.
Yeah, no, it was actually came together very easy. I was surprised when
Yeah. I
putting
don't
it
want
together.
people to get discouraged by looking at something online and saying, oh, that's too much. This is super easy to even do on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yay. So again, I just wanted to talk about the new base coats as well. After I've talked about the top coat, I kind of want to touch base about these guys too. So like I said earlier, this is the Stay Classic, and this is the exact same formula as our typical, or like the base coat that we all know and love. So like I said, there's different juice, same juice, different bottle. But this one is new formula. So this is our Stay Strong base coat. And I'm just going to open it up a little bit because I do want to touch on one really important thing. And I don't know if you can see it because everything's clear, but let me see how short that brush is, how short the bristles are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something new that we've kind of integrated into this. So because this formula is so much thicker, we need the shorter brush so that we have the better placement of the product on the nail. So if we had a longer brush, like what would be the typical iconic brush in the Stay Classic, what you would end up getting is globbing of the product, and it would be uneven. So therefore it would cure unevenly, and it wouldn't you'd end up with peeling, or you'd end up with bubbling or rippling in the polish. So that's something really important to touch on, is that you're applying any base coat, especially this one with that thicker viscosity, that you're applying this thinly and evenly on the entire nail. I'm really excited to see if people, when people are trying it out, like I said earlier, someone that may have been a little bit discouraged from using gel color or gel polish in general, that they, because maybe it wasn't strong enough or hard enough for their nails, I'm hoping that that's a really good alternative base coat for them.
Do you find it lasts longer than the other base coat, or is it about the same? It's just a different feel.
Right. Actually, we're seeing 3+ weeks of wear with that base coat. So typically our regular gel color, our Stay Classic base coat system. So you're looking at Stay Classic, 2 coats of gel color, and then a Stay Shiny top coat. You're looking at about 2+ weeks of wear, and that's dependent on whether the product has been applied properly and removed properly, and that nail prep has been done properly. But with the Stay Strong base coat, we're seeing 3+ weeks of wear.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, for hairdressers, and everyone now too, washing your hands and sanitizing your hands, like your nails and your skin they're going through so much more than maybe they used to be. And I think it's such a great alternative for a traditional base coat.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm excited to use it.
Yes, I'm excited to see how it wears for you. So going forward, I'm going to start our next tutorial, and this is what my interpretation of a tortoise shell is. And like I said earlier, nail art is so unique and so individual, and I was on the struggle bus when tortoise shell first came out. I couldn't find the right color combinations. I couldn't figure out just which way it worked for me. And this is one way that maybe you could do tortoise shell. So again, just like before, I'm going to pretend that this nail is a perfectly manicured and base coated nail. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm actually going to be taking my Stay Shiny top coat, and I'm going to be taking the Muse of Milan shade Complimentary Wine. And what I'm going to do is actually create a sheared version of this shade. So I'm going to open up both of my bottles in preparation. Again, both of these have been shaken for a minute. And I'm going to apply a coat of top coat, just like I usually would, not too thick. And without curing it, I'm going to take the shade Complimentary Wine, and I'm going to brush it over the top coat. And what this is going to do is that it's going to shear the shade, so you're not going to get the same pigmentation as if you were polishing it directly on the base coat. So see how that's like still very, very transparent? That's kind of what I'm going for here.
That's amazing. That's a great trick.
Yeah, and it doesn't involve having extra brushes or bottles. You're just using the brushes that come in the bottles. So I'm going to cure that fully for 30 seconds. And again, I'm going to end up with our very sheer version of Complimentary Wine. And so for the second coat, I'm going to end up taking the Muse of Milan shade My Italian is a Little Rusty. And I'm actually going to be doing the exact same thing. Get my bottle prepared here. So again, I'm going to be creating a very sheer version of this shade by polishing a thin coat of Stay Shiny top coat, and then right over top using My Italian is Rusty and going over that. And I'm now creating almost like a custom color by having these two sheer shades over top of each other, which is really, really neat. And this is something that I really love about OPI, is that there's so many different color combinations. You could do this with any color to create your own shade, which is really, really cool. So now I have those two colors layered. I'm going to put that in my lamp for 30 seconds, cure it completely. And I'm going to have, ta-da, magic, my two sheared shades layered on top of each other.
Say that 3 times fast, eh?
Never again will I. So my next step, what I like to do is add my little blobbies, my spots, my tortoise shell beginnings. And again, I'm going to be using the iconic shade Black Onyx for this one. And I'm just going to kind of randomly place them. Like, I'm really not paying attention to where those shades are going or what shape they may be in. I really just want to blob it. Again, abstract, doesn't involve, a lot of technique or talent. It's more or less whatever you feel looks the best. So here you could have 3 shapes, 4 shapes. You could have one. It really is up to you. So I've kind of add my little cloud blobs or whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds. And it's a lot of layering. This is my favorite way of doing nail art. Last time on Modern, it's on the IGTV if anyone's interested in watching. We used the Muse of Milan shades. We used a lot of these purples and the kind of granite color here. And we use these to create a gemstone look, layering with transfer foil and glitters. It was really, really cool. I love, love, love layering because I think you can really change and give the nail dimension and depth. So after I've cured my black cloud blobs, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create another layer directly over top of this. And again, like before, I'm using my Stay Shiny top coat. And this time I'm going to be using the shade Have Your Pantone and Eat It Too. And this is a really beautiful burnt orange shade that's like perfect for fall. So get my bottles all ready like I did before. And I'm going to do, oh, hello, don't spill. I'm going to take my really nice and thin layer of top coat and going directly over all of what we have done so far. And I'm going to take the shade and I'm going to go right over top of it. And to me, this kind of creates that like brown look that the tortoiseshell has. So it's got kind of, you know, sheared out rusty. I love it. So, and I know that you know, the black clouds kind of look muddled now, but I feel like that's kind of where we're going here. And after we've added that sheared out shade, I'm gonna cure it for 30 seconds. And then after that, we end up with this guy. And like I said earlier, the black cloud blobs are a little bit muddy or a little, I guess, not as opaque as our typical black onyx is. So I'm going to take black onyx again, and I'm going to add a little bit of our depth, a little bit more definition here. So right over top of some of those blobs, I'm going to add some more blobs. And it's going to give that little, so that there's one that's a little bit more gray and a little section of it that's a little bit more black. And then also
depth to it.
Sorry?
It just adds some nice depth to it, so it's not just flat.
Right. It's like that the dimension, that layering. It just looks very, you know, I don't know, intricate to say the least. So after I've done that, I'm going to cure it for 30 seconds. And this is something I feel like is more time consuming than technical, right? So most people will be like, ugh, that's a lot of work. But once you do that, oh my gosh, it's so worth it. So once we've cured that, we have our layered black and kind of off charcoaly kind of blobs. And honestly, you could stop here. I think this is like a nice option for tortoiseshell. But like I said earlier, I'm really into jazzing things up. I like to add a little bling. So, and if you're like me, I spend a lot of time on Amazon and at the beauty supplies looking for nail art tools and things. And I found this beauty, and this has a bunch of different shades of transfer foil. So I love using transfer foil in nail art because I think it's really unique and it kind of adds to that abstract look. So today I'm going to be using this beautiful gold transfer foil. So I'm going to trim off just a little tiny bit of it so that I'm not wasting. So I have literally just this little tiny, just a little piece. And this is where our base coat comes back into play. So I'm going to use our Stay Classic base coat. And this is, like I said, same juice, different bottle. And where I would like to put my transfer foil is where I'm going to blop some base coat. So I kind of want to put some maybe here, maybe over this little guy here, maybe some here, up here, I don't know, wherever you feel like it's going to look good. Now for this, we're not going to want to cure it completely, we want to flash cure it. And I'm going to flash cure for 15 seconds, which is nice because the OPI LED light, you'll see it come on. Ooh, our LED light has 4 settings. So you're getting a 15-second setting, a 30-second setting, 45, and 60. I utilize the 15 and the 30 a lot. So like I said, just like that, our base coat is half cured. So that means that it's not completely hardened and ready for, the next coat, but it's still kind of soft. And I would take my little piece of transfer foil and I'm going to press it where my Stay Classic base coat was. And as you can see, it's just kind of, sticking to just where the base coat was. So you're getting that little bit of shine.
That's
It's
very
really
cool.
And then our final step, we'd be using the Stay Shiny top coat, putting it right over top, curing it for 30 seconds. And that's where the end is, our beautiful My Way tortoiseshell. Like I said, this is just another option, another way to do tortoiseshell. Maybe it's a little bit time consuming for some. I just feel like this was the easiest way for me to get the color payoff that I wanted and, the look that I wanted at the end. And this involved no extra tools necessarily.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love the final look, and I love the use of the transfer foil at the end because it just adds
Yeah.
a little bit of sparkle.
It's just really cool to try new things and to utilize the colors in a different way. Like I said, these shades are, very unique to each other, but they also very cohesive with each other. And I really want people to try new things that service innovation, test something out, mix something together, try adding this or adding that and see what you can come up with. It's all artistry in the end.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love that you have those little kind of fake nails to kind of play around and test those things out on.
Yes. And like I said, these are great, especially, during this time where maybe you're not comfortable going back to the salon yet. And, we're still staying at home and still doing things at home for ourselves. These are great options and even something that you could do at home on your own nails. And, testing it out and trying these new things is what we can do to maybe add some light and some color to our day.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you did a great job. Thank you so much for showing us all those looks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nichelle.
So if everybody, oh, sorry, thank you everybody for joining us today. I think Samantha did an amazing job in showing these 2 looks. I'm excited for myself to try them, and I'm excited for any of you guys to try them as well. Make sure you guys are following OPI and OPI professionals on Instagram so you guys get a sneak peek at what's coming. I think Samantha said it was coming tomorrow. We get to see what the new holiday collection is.
Yeah.
And then also make sure you're following Modern Beauty Supplies. And thank you again to Modern Beauty Supplies for letting us come on here and kind of take over their Instagram and go live. I know I enjoy it, and all of our educators really enjoy coming on here. If you guys have any questions about some of the Muse of Milan shades or just anything OPI in general, make sure to send Samantha a DM on Instagram. Her Instagram is Samantha Nailed It. And I'm sure she'd be happy to answer any of your questions. She's obviously a wealth of knowledge. And yeah, thank you for coming on and sharing your knowledge with us today.
Oh, thanks, Nichelle. I had so much fun. Thank you, Modern. It's always so fun to connect with everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This will be saved to IGTV. So if you guys want to go back and rewatch it, it will be saved on Modern Beauty Supply. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.